for their annual emergency management advisory committee meeting. And we have Deputy Mayor Engel is absent today. And to my right, we have Amanda Riley, acting CAO. We have Curtis Lusso, our Director of Emergency Management. And I'm sorry, I don't know if Craig got demoted or not. Is he assistant deputy? No. He's our Director of Infrastructure and Engineering is here. Yeah. And I see Steph is here because I believe she's on the emergency management team. Stephanie Halfyard and Jocelyn and Lisa looking after us on the left. So welcome. I'll need someone to make a motion to adopt the agenda. All in favor? Carried. And we'll move straight to item 3, which is the business we are here for. And I'm going to hand this over to Chief Russo to go through all the exciting things we need to know and all the exciting things he's been doing.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll get right into item 3.1, which is our MEP, our Municipal Emergency Plan Review. This is a review that's done by the Alberta Emergency Management Field Officers. They use our online portal and they go through all our information that we have uploaded to that portal. And to review that, we passed along our emergency management bylaw to them as well, so that was part of the review. As a result, this is what he had sent us, which we've included in the agenda here. Some recommendations, and then the sheet with all the sections that shows up if we're compliant, not compliant, if it's not applicable. Generally, we are in good shape with all our documents and items on the MA Connect online portal. The cover letter, he listed some recommendations for the town and the municipality that we should be undertaking. A lot of that is going to be covered off in our 2025 plan, which we'll get to. So if that agrees with you, we can just move right into the year in review, or if you had any questions about the NEP, or do you want to wait until after we discuss the review and our go forward plan?
I don't see any hands right now, so, do you have your hand up?
Just a second. Are we supposed to have a document that I can refer to here?
Yes, it was emailed to you with the agenda on Friday.
The council agenda.
The council agenda?
It was on April 17th at 6:15 p.m.
Thank you.
She's very efficient in getting things to us. It doesn't waste email time. Thank you. Got it open?
Yeah.
All right.
One thing to note on some of the headings, it looks like he used a template from the Mountain View Regional one and didn't necessarily check the dates. So I believe it was April 11th we met with him.
Yeah.
And not March 17th on the forum. That was with the county group as a whole. So that was just some typo for us from the field officers. One thing to note with AEMA, the experience of turnover in the field officers in the 2024 year, I believe we ended up with 3. 1 retired, 1 left, and then we ended up with Lauren Thompson, who is our current one, and they've since brought on board here to help them out. So we did meet with them in person on Friday was the 11th. We met with them on the next Monday. But we'll go right into the review of what the activities we participated in 2024. AltaGas had a functional exercise out of the rail terminal. We participated as observer status. We had Craig in his role as Dem at the time, and I believe Jocelyn was there. They were in their command post as observer status. With the issues with the butte, we developed a standpipe butte response plan to deal with any potential issues resulting from that. We also participated in a joint ESS tabletop with Carstairs ESS, which is Emergency Social Services, including a tour of each municipality's main reception centers, went through all our ESS kits that everyone has, so that each municipality is aware of what equipment and items we have in all our kits. The Mountain View Regional Group, which includes Mountain View County and all the member municipalities within the county, we received a grant to develop an emergency response, ESS response plan, so a regional one. So we participated with the consultation and development of that. It's just been released in draft form as of last week. So we look forward to that being brought forward in 2025. In this year's go forward plans, what we're planning is the regional group has a functional exercise June 5th. So that will be a full scale train derailment scenario. I believe CPKC is bringing out a car that they can tip over and simulate a derailment. There'll be involvement from various fire departments, Didsbury Wolves. They're going to set up an ICP, incident command post, at the Protective Services building in our ECC there. So it's full scale. We're going to have volunteers to simulate evacuees that will have to register at our reception center in the multi-purpose room. It's going to be an all-day thing. These are required once every 5 years, I believe. So, yeah, 5. So this checks off the box for all of the participating municipalities. Next week, actually no, tomorrow, take this up last week, we have a Alta Gas Rail Terminal tabletop exercise. We're hoping that we'll be able to incorporate some of our town ERP elements into this. It's primarily for them, as well as fire department for our operating response guidelines in the event of an incident out at their rail terminal. Our emergency management team is currently updating our org chart, given the turnover that the town experienced in 2024. So some of the positions have been vacated. So myself and the two DDMs, Stephanie and Vicky, were looking at updating that and repopulating roles. As a result of that, there'll be additional training that will be offered for these members as we populate the org chart. So with some of that training, we're going to host a DEM course, Directive of Emergency Management course in May, an ICS 200 course in June, and an ICS 300 course in December to coincide with all these organizational updates to make sure that our people have the correct training that they need. There is a 5-month gap that we need between the 200 and the 300, so that's why we're doing one in June and one in December. You can't just do one course one week and do the next course the following week. They want us to see 5 months in between. We've already booked a local authority elected officials course for November for council members that are from the municipal election. As you're well aware, it happens that you have to take it within 90 days of your oath of office. So that's already scheduled. So they will come here to host that in person. And then our draft ERP, our ERP for the town that's currently in draft, we're going to look to finalize that and get that. It's finalized as much as we can. Obviously, it's a living document as risks change and whatnot. We'll adjust as it goes. We had some initial conversations with AMA, and they're going to be a great resource for us. They're willing to work with us, send them our draft report, give us feedback, make sure that we're on the right path. They're the two, Lauren and Gord, that we met with. They seem very open and amicable to help work with the municipalities under their region. So I took that as very heartening that they're willing to work with us and not just say, this is what you need to do. So, and one of the other recommendations was the hazard identification and risk assessment. We started reviewing that. That should be reviewed every couple of years regardless, just to make sure if things change. So we started going through that. There's a new program coming out in the fall. They're switching how that's presented online, so there'll be training that we'll have to take in the fall. It's going to make it more robust and allow for historical data. i.e., like if we were in a flood-prone community, we could input water levels for historic floods and tie that all into a risk assessment. So that part may not be applicable to our municipality, but there'll be other elements we'll have to build in, so looking forward to that. And I think that is it. If there's any questions?
Any questions? Councilor Moore?
Not really. It's good though that you were here when we had the derailment. Because it's not all communities that have that, but that kind of risk. But it seemed to be speed and the extreme cold that had something to do with the cars coming off the track to about 40 feet off the track on about 12th Avenue, close to 12th Avenue. Do you remember that? Anyway, we don't have flood risk really, and we don't have a lot of other things, but that is something that, because of the curve and it happened before, that it might be something that we would have on our risk assessment.
Oh, absolutely. Train derailment is one of the higher levels in the previous risk assessment we've done. A lot of ours are weather-related and train and even chemicals. Like if you look at how many trucks that on 582 on the bypass to and from the gas plants, the sulfur plant. Those would be our major ones, but we'll definitely be reviewing all that, making sure we have plans in place.
Councilor Baswick?
Thank you, Mayor. Again, good to see you, Chief. And here's a question. This is like America Got Talent. You got all the yeses on this. It's great to see. And but the one thing that concerns me with not just this, but everything else related to the town is communication. Like you're going to have this real derailment scenario, and those things are darn realistic. That, that people are. There's a few people I know are going to go over the fence because they're going to say, "Holy crap, what's happening here?" My question is, how do we communicate this stuff to the community? Because that's a basic question for me.
Yeah, we are developing regional a communication plan that will start to go out prior to the event and on the day of the event, saying, advising residents because they are going to see our CMP, CPOs blocking roads, going to see fire apparatus up and down roads. So there is that, we're cognizant of that, and there is going to be a plan in place to advise everybody that, this is a test, do not be alarmed.
Because it is going to be realistic. I remember the last one, you'd swear people were on the verge of dying.
Yeah, well, that's the purpose of the functional ones, to be as realistic as possible, right?
Right.
Tabletops are great, review plans and how they should be implemented, but with this being functional and everything in play, we'll actually be able to see, okay, what did we do good, what do we need to be improved upon in the event of a real emergency. But it's good that we're doing it regionally because really anything that affects Didsbury, it's going to have trickle-down effect to Carstairs. So if we ever had to evacuate a portion of our town, where we send probably over Carstairs. So it's a good collaboration. And that's one of the things that the EMA field officers stated, that this region as a whole for a number of years has been.
Right. I appreciate what you do, and I know we have the right man in the job to lead this group of young fellows and ladies to do the firefighting in our town, so I appreciate what you do. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor Hunter. So, Curtis, is there going to be a role the council plays on this exercise on June 5th?
Not so much. The councils won't be involved in this. You may get asked to be a volunteer as an evacuee to go down to the reception center and sign up for that, but that would be the extent of it.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, when did you start preparing for this, and how many meetings a week, and how often does this take up your time?
Well,
How did Didsbury get selected, or did you decide you
a lot of this was set in motion last year before I was even in a position. And when I should state, when I say we, I mean everybody, not just myself and staff, like the work that Craig did before and whatnot. But this has been in the planning stages since last year, probably last summer, like a year in advance. So
We applied for a grant for it as well, so that was the year before. I think we have to ask council for
letter of support.
recommendation, for support for that grant. And then all the communities did that, and the regional agencies applied for it. And then we received it, and now this is the fruition of it. We've been due for the full-scale exercise, so we've been planning for that.
We'll go big or go home, I guess. That's good. It's sort of one of the biggest ones you'll have.
Well, and it is probably, other than a tornado, that's probably one of the more realistic ones and higher risk ones that affect.
And so what kind of grants were secured? Like how much does that cost to have a?
I am unsure of the amounts. I know part of the grant, like I say, was for the ESS response.
But it's just Disbury that got the grant.
Pardon?
Disbury got, but everybody got the grant and they were
I
just
think
together.
I think the county applied for it on all the municipalities.
Okay.
With letters of support
Right.
from everyone, and they're the lead agency on it through the regional emergency management partnership. So
That's great. It's going to be a great day.
it'll be busy.
I know we've had AltaGas here lots talking about their concerns about our proximity to residential and industrial, and so this tabletop relative, or is it kind of encompassing what might be?
It definitely would be relative. From my understanding of the scenario, it's not necessarily going to involve the tanks at the terminal, but I believe it's going to be a fire as a result that spreads to neighboring areas. So if you look at the potential for Creekside, that would be one of our potential risks and how we would respond. So that's why we've got one of the deputies is coming is on the fire department offsite, so that we can flesh all that out. Since it's in the county officially, if there was a need for, they would be the lead agency, but we're definitely directly affected by whatever may happen out there. So county may get the first call, they'd be lead agency one, we'd be 1 within the town. So
And would the county use do they have their own emergency EOC?
yes, they do.
Okay. I guess they
But with the regional agency, it could be, like, for this scenario, for the functional one, the trainer element is going to be too close to the county office, is what we're planning, is what we're saying, so that's why we're using Disbury's ECC in the fire hall, just because of the risk there, that, oh, no, we're going to pretend that it's too close to the county, can't use that one, move to Disbury. And since it's going to be closer to Olds, it made no sense to go to Olds. We have that capability, that cooperation, that something happens in the county, they'll set up an ICP, and you'll see Disbury, Carstairs, Olds, county office, wherever's suitable.
Right, that's what these will do, these exercises.
Yeah.
So, a couple more questions. I know, it was last year, the year before, when we started preparing the Butte Reservoir ERP, we all got the manual, which is quite big, on electronically. So the changes to this now with the updates, can we see those?
Once we're in the process of updating some of the positions, and once we get there, absolutely, that'll be forwarded
Okay.
to council, the advisory committee
Yeah.
for review. We'll be looking to streamline it and tie it into the Mountain View Regional Plan, since we're all part of that plan, and then have it is very specific. for some-
Yeah, and then the reservoir, just the way that all rolled out, it's of interest, obviously, well, to me, maybe, anyway, but, and I wanted to ask, are you satisfied with the government's report? What did you think?
From Lauren? Yeah, no, I was happy with it.
Okay,
I was happy to see all the yeses and NAs and not a whole lot of no's, so
yeah. Is
that
there
was
anything,
good. And that's, I think, testament to the work that was put in before.
Yeah.
Everything is up to date.
And is kind of what you expected?
To be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect, but
Okay,
talking to Lauren, he seemed satisfied with where we're at and our go forwards, so it was very, no, I was satisfied with it. I believe Steph and Vicky were also satisfied as a result of the meeting, and we were in a good mood, a good place after meeting with them. We didn't
Good.
get going.
good. And has, like all the wildfires and whatnot, has that enhanced the level of attention to all, like everybody's BRPs and all the, or have they always been enhanced, just wildfires are a little more the focus and more enhanced now?
I think given where some of these wildfires are occurring, like Jasper and whatever, the heightened media coverage and whatnot, I believe every town was always aware of them and cognizant of planning for them, but now there is increased scrutiny, and that's absolutely fine, and make sure that we're on top of our game on the fire side and emergency side of it. We know how to respond in case we get them, because we're a small agricultural community. We've got farmland on all four quadrants essentially, so it's never present risk, I guess, so we're prepared for it.
Well, it's much like the one in Carstairs that taught us, or taught, maybe not me, but you, it sort of caught my attention, but it didn't teach me anything. But,
Yeah, that was an interesting day, to say the least.
Well, good. I appreciate this opportunity to ask questions and to see the reports, and to commend you and our departments and team for all you're doing to keep us very safe. I know it's a lot of work. It's always on your mind, I'm sure. So thank you all. I don't know if are there any other questions? I'm not averse to sending everybody home at 4:55, except us that we have to come back, but that's okay, we get a bigger break. But if there are no more questions, then thank you all. And how's the job going? The official fire chief position / DEM.
It's good. It's hard
What
to
can you say right now? Right?
It's only been 9 weeks already. It's gone by quick, but no, it's been good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. All right, so I will have, I don't think we have to, I don't know how many pages over here. It doesn't say what I have to do next, so we got the review and then we just adjourn then. Oh, is it on the back? Oh. Oh, sorry, yes it is. So we, just a motion to adjourn then. And thank you, everybody. Councilor Moore, all in favor? That's carried at 4:53.